And so, Donovan, initially we talked about what shaped you as a person, as what you are today. A good mentor, your mom, who was, strict on the quality. Um, I am wondering, is there are any books you would like to recommend which really, motivated you, helped you, and influenced you to be what you are today?
I've gotten, actually, there's been a couple recent books that I've read that I wish I'd read sooner, because
Mhm.
maybe my path would have been a little faster. So I just joined the incubations team, and for a very short moment, Luke Kim was my manager, and he recommended go read the first 90 days,
Mhm.
which is about transitioning from one role to another role.
Mhm.
And what got you here won't get you there. Right. So
Right.
Donovan, like, you've done really well. You've gone from senior technical sales professional to partner program manager in very short time. But what got you here won't get you to distinguished engineer, technical fellow, or corporate vice president, right? You got to think differently. And I remember I was reading one of my, I think it might have been What Got You Here Won't Get You There. And there was a paragraph that I read of what you're not supposed to do. And it was so jarring that I copied it and pasted it to my best friend and my wife, like, so like, yeah, you do that all the time. So what? I'm like, yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Like this book is telling you like what you're not supposed to do. And it was like that paragraph was written directly from like my life experience. It's like, oh my gosh. So that book was like so eye-opening to realize that, wow, you're
Mhm.
not alone. You're not the only
Right.
person that's made these mistakes. Like you're not the only person going through these transitions. There's a whole book of anecdotes and things you should and should not do. And you've done half of these, which means a lot of
Wow.
people have done these. So it kind of made me feel better on, okay, you're not the only person who's struggling at some of these things. And it was also interesting to read that, hey, like we know this is coming. These are obstacles that are going to be in your way. And they gave me the tools to address those going forward, and just to slow me down a little bit, because when you're in a new role, you're so excited, you want to make a big impact,
True.
and you want to go in there and fix everything, and that can rub everyone in that organization the wrong way,
Right.
because you don't
Perfect.
know the culture yet, you don't know the people yet, and here you are trying to fix something that wasn't even broken. And we're not trying to do that, but we're just trying to show that we're excited and have an impact. But again, it's all about perception and how it comes across.
True.
And I know I've done that and in the past, and then I reflect on some of those meetings, like, wow, I remember I had some people who didn't like me that much in that organization. I wonder if it's because I made that type of introduction, right?
Right.
Versus just taking the time and taking 90 days to really learn the lay of the land and understand how this team works, and then figuring out where your role and how you fit into this team, versus just going like a bull in a china shop trying to have an impact immediately, when that's
Right.
not, no one expected that of you, because you're new and we know that you're new. Just
Mm.
take your time, learn your role, and then have an impact when you can. Don't be a
Right.
bull in a china shop trying to impress everybody with how much you know, because all that's going to do is turn people off. And it was
True.
just those. So that those books, What Got You Here Won't Get You There, and The First 90 Days are the two most recent books that I read, which are really great. Good Strategy, Bad Strategy is another really good book if you've never
Mhm.
written a strategy before.
Okay.
A lot of us, as you move up through management, get asked to write strategy documents. And
Mhm.
I always drug my feet on it because I didn't know how to write a strategy document. I was never took a class on writing strategy documents. I couldn't find a good YouTube on writing strategy documents. I didn't even know where to start. And so I would try to push it off or figure out some way of not doing it. And then I finally broke down and said, my team needs a strategy. And Good Strategy, Bad Strategy was a really good book to kind of break down the process and the thought process you go through to say, hey, I need to diagnose a problem first. And once you have a
Mm.
problem, you need to figure out what are the barriers between you and solving that problem. Your strategy is how you remove those barriers. Right. And
True.
when you break it
True.
down that simply, it's like, oh, wow, that's not scary. Like, yeah, but no one's ever told it to me that way before. So I was always scared to sit down and write a strategy document. And the last book I would recommend is OKRs. Not Measure What Matters. There's a book literally called OKRs. And if
Right.
you want, I can send you the links and you can put them in
Sure.
the description video.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
I will.
there's a great book there because it talks about you need a vision and a mission even before you get to the strategy. And that was writing a vision and mission was a really powerful management skill for me to develop, because when I wrote those and I allowed my teams to see them, my entire organization now understood what our North Star was. They didn't have to question if this is a good idea or a bad idea. Either it drove us towards our vision or it didn't. And if you don't articulate what your vision is, how's your team supposed to know which way to row? And
True.
I went as far as putting my mission and vision in the signature of my email. So every email you got from me reminded you of what my vision and what my mission was. And it was
Wow.
really cool to see how I would send out emails not only to my people, but to external people. And I would get comments saying, Donovan, man, I really love your mission and vision. How can we help you with that? Because they also wanted that thing to happen. So it was a cool way for me to even solicit support from outside my organization when they clearly knew what Donovan's team was focused on. So,
Right.
and your vision and mission should be short. Mine were each one sentence. So I just put them in my signature of my emails. And it was a really good thought exercise for me as a manager to say, how do I rally my troops? How do I get everyone pointing in the right direction? What I do is I give the entire organization a very clear vision and mission. And then from there comes your strategy, and out of there comes your OKRs. It's a beautiful structure.
Perfect. Very good. So thank you very much, Donovan. Really heartfelt thank you. I
Sure.
think our audience will learn a lot. I learned a lot from you. And hopefully this interview is very different because you talk about tech all the time, everywhere
Sure.
people know. I wanted to bring the person behind this black shirt, who is Donovan Brown. And I hope, people get a glimpse of it as a person of you. So thank you very much. I really
Oh,
appreciate
thanks.
you taking time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, it's just, again, sometimes it's weird that people care what I think and say.
Yeah.
So it's always humbling to be asked to do interviews like this. So I'm just happy that you asked me.